Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Way. I'm coming to you from Gracious Care Recovery. Just wanted to touch base with you this afternoon and hit on a couple of things that I find very important. One of the most frequently asked questions that I get here is probably going to be, why does my loved one do what they do? Why is it, Mike, that they can't just stop? Why can't they just give up whatever it is, their addictive substances? Why can't they quit drinking? Why can't they quit using the drugs? Well, this would be an easy question to answer if it weren't based on a false sense of reality that addiction is just a choice. Now, I'll be the first to agree that in some cases, at certain stages of addiction, it is a choice. There comes a time when you're experiencing something that we refer to as obsession, where it is no longer a choice. Now, obsession is going to be a thought that drives out all other thoughts. It blocks out every other thought. Now, if I only have one thought occurring in my mind, is there a choice? Well, at the time, absolutely not. The only thing you're seeing is there's one thing that's going to make you feel better, and that thing is the substance of your choice. Okay? There are a lot of things going on at the time, a lot of chemical stuff going on, and what you've got to do is you've got to really start to learn to understand a little more about addiction. Now, I believe that understanding is the key to recovery. The first thing you need to do is you need to start to understand what's going on inside your mind or the mind of the loved one that you're trying to relate to. Now, for people who are non-addicts, a lot of what I'm about to say may not really hit home. But the people that are addicts, they're going to see this and they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to start with something that we're going to refer to as obsession. Again, as I said before, obsession is a thought that blocks out all other thoughts. Now, it's driven by a certain chemical reaction in the brain. Now, obsession, it starts with a thought. So I'm going to put the thought down here, okay? Now, the thought could be anything. For the normal people, the thought could be the weekend barbecue or grandma's 80th birthday or something that you're looking forward to. And when you think about that event, you experience a certain sense of euphoria, right? So that sense of euphoria gives you this heightened feeling. So what you get when you think of that is you get this rush of chemicals in your brain, okay? Now it goes into what some people refer to as the pleasure pathway, all right? Now one of those chemicals for today's purposes is going to be dopamine we're going to discuss. Now dopamine is not the only chemical present. There are a lot of stuff going on, but for today's purpose, let's talk about dopamine, okay? Dopamine is going to be, let's just say it's a chemical in the brain that produces pleasure, okay? It heightens the sense of pleasure. So what you're going to be looking at is this. When the addict has the thought, or when you, the normal person, has a thought, what happens is it triggers this reaction, and this reaction is the dopamine rush, okay? Now what happens is that drives you to get whatever this thought is. Now let's say the thought is alcohol, okay? Now you're getting this rush, and the only thing that you're seeing is, okay, I need a drink, I need a drink, I need a drink, all the way to the top where you get the reward. Now once your body gets the reward, the dopamine rush is no longer as high, the levels are no longer as high. So what you're going to experience is you're going to experience a drop that goes down rapidly like this, okay? All the way to the bottom where it bottoms out. At this point, what you're going to start to experience is something that's commonly referred to as depression, all right? Now, when you experience depression, the body immediately registers this and says, I don't want to be depressed. I want euphoria. So how do I get these levels back up? Well, it's simple. If I recreate this thought, then these levels will go up again. So again, you get the rush all the way to the top when you get the reward, all right? At the top of the reward, again, dopamine shuts down, plummets downhill, bottoms out. Once again, you're at depression. Body registers and says, I don't like depression, I like euphoria. So how do I get rid of this depression? Simple. I recreate this thought. Now, in the mind of the substance abusive person, or in the addict, if you will, what this looks like is drink, drink, and started with a drink. Does that make sense? Now, at this point, there's very little choice involved in this. All the addict is thinking about is, how do I get rid of this depression, and what am I going to put in my body? What substance is going to make me feel better? How do I get that reward? How do I get the pleasure back? So when your loved one is experiencing obsession, they're no longer concerned with, what's the impact going to be on my mom? How's my wife going to feel about this? The only thing they can think of is, one thing is going to solve my problems right now. That thing is the substance. This is just something simple that I was trying to use to reach you guys today. And this is not the only answer. There are several things involved, and it takes a lot of time to really get down to the root of the problem. Those are the things you're going to find here at Gracious Care Recovery. So if you or a loved one are suffering from addiction or substance abuse, give us a call here and let's try and see what we can do to help make your life better. Thanks.